Human beings can mentor AI. Human beings are mentor of AI. Human beings cannot be AI. The day we succumb to the so-called, artificial, highly intellectual intelligence of the AI, we will succumb to our self. Bharat is one of the leading producer of the software across the world, and we are exporting it to so many countries. Younger generations of institutions like IIT, NIT, IIM, and especially IIT Mandi, like the younger lot out here, when they come up with a startup company or with an innovative idea, we need to nurture them. We need to nurture them. We need to help them out so that tomorrow in World Bank or in IMF or for that matter in European Union, we have a legitimate chair which was denied to us for so long.
Yes, so Dr. Dutta, very warm welcome to IIT Mandi, and thank you for joining us to this Ideas Mattermost talk show, which is on the theme AI-Human Partnership. Since you have acclaimed expertise in international political, economic, and foreign policy, I myself and my audience here would love to hear your views on AI shaping the geopolitics.
सबसे पहले सबको नमस्कार. I'm very happy and delighted, Professor Lakshmidhar Behra for being here. I think ये मेरा तीसरा विजिट है IIT मंडी पे, और मैं जब भी आता हूँ मुझे लगता है कि मैं अपने घर पे आया हूँ. You are such a lovely dear friend of mine, and most of the faculty members I know them by face and personally. और स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में मैं क्या कहूँ, बहुत सारे हैं जो they are in touch with me in LinkedIn as well as in other social media. They keep on interacting. Last time also when I was here, I had seen some real flamboyant, dynamic young minds whom I would say कि हमारे देश के future के brand ambassador हैं. Now coming to this pertinent topic, I would also thank Idea Matters Most as well as Hindustan Times for giving me this platform. AI and human mind. Yeah. I think I'll start with two one-liners for this. First, human beings can mentor AI. Human beings are mentor of AI. Human beings cannot be AI. AI will always remain a subordinate robot for human beings, and we need to keep that in mind. The day we succumb to the so-called, artificial, highly intellectual intelligence of the AI, we will succumb to our self. AI, when we actually talk about AI and how things are changing at the global level. What I understand is like for Bharat to be a leader of AI, we have to have a Atmanirbhar AI, a Viksit AI. When we can do this, I think the job will be accomplished and the mission will be successful. Viksit Bharat, Unnat Bharat and Atmanirbhar Bharat is a clarion call of the Honorable Prime Minister, not just for the heck of it. It is a clarion call with a complete understanding of the international dynamics of the changing permutation combination at the international level. Today morning when I was interacting with you, I had said that time that 19th century was the era of the Queen of England,
Right.
Britain and Europe. 20th century was the era of United States of America.
Right.
21st century is the era of Indo-Pacific, जिसपे मेरे specialization भी है.
Right.
And this is a prediction which is not a prediction only of intellectuals across the globe, but this is a prediction based on the study of the United Nations itself of 1980s, when the UN had said that 21st century would be the era of Indo-Pacific. When we talk about Indo-Pacific, we actually talk about Bharat, we talk about China, and we talk about East Asia and Southeast Asia.
Okay.
आज अगर पूरा विदेश and especially the West आज अगर इतना विचलित है इस चीज को लेके, because they understand the hegemony which they had for last 300 years or 350 years, that hegemony is gradually getting washed below their carpet, and it's been taken over by an area which till the other day they used to consider to be a civilization of pagans and heathens. So aaj ye cheez jo ho raha hai, this is something which they are very reluctant to accept it, but with a sense of reluctancy, they are accepting this today because there is no other way out for them.
Okay. So moving forward, I think you'll agree with me on this. And since you have already talked about this, that right now there's a phase of global power shift. But right now, AI is being used as a proxy for power. It's being used for negotiations in various defense deals or for setting a geopolitical frameworks and settings and whatnot. So how do you think AI is influencing global power structures as a tool? And is it similar to what nuclear power was once used as a tool in global power to have some negotiations on the table?
Why only nuclear power? Nuclear power, WTO, IMF, World Bank, then for that matter, IT.
Right.
These were all used as a tool in the past by the Western powers, and they will do that. I don't blame them for that. And because it is an era of cutthroat competition. In this era of cutthroat competition, when everyone is actually in a process of challenging the other power or challenging the other economy, this is something which will be there. Okay. After all, it's the survival of the fittest. If I have to speak about the, about the philosophy of Huntington, where he speaks about the survival of the fittest. So 21st century is also a survival of the fittest. They will try that. But the main thing behind this is like, do we succumb to their instrument of subjugation? Or do we assert ourselves?
Okay.
And I will cite examples to prove this.
Okay.
When IT came here in Bharat in 80s and 90s, there was a huge hue and cry that, this will destroy the traditional industrial base of the country. This is something which will destroy the economic and the financial structure of the country. Okay. But did that happen? No. We actually did wonders through IT. We reasserted ourselves, and today Bharat is one of the leading producer of the software across the world, and we are exporting it to so many countries. In the same way, if I have to talk about WTO, for example, we had signed WTO when our gold was being auctioned in the Bank of England as well as in the Imperial Bank, because our economy was devastated. And everyone said that this is the end of this conglomerate of this country called Bharat, and it will disintegrate into pieces. But did that happen?
No.
Not at all. That was a situation. In that situation, we had to give our gold in auction to the banks in Europe as well as in UK, but we reasserted ourselves.
Right.
We signed WTO under compromise, but today WTO, World Bank, and IMF talks about Bharat, saying that if the global world has to progress, if there has to be a legitimate expansion of the global, organizations, whether it's the UN, the WHO, World Bank, IMF, representation of India or Bharat is a must.
Right.
Representation of Bharat in G20, representation of Bharat in GATT, or for that matter in G77 is a must. So it all depends on how you assert yourself.
Okay.
As being a civilizational country with almost around 15,000 to 25,000 years of civilization, and carbon dating is proving that.
Right.
Whether it's in Bhet Dwarka, or whether it's in Lothal or Kalibangan or any other place, the carbon dating is explicitly proving that the El Basham and the Romila Thapar theory of 5,000 years of Bharatiya civilization is a myth.
Right.
It's much older than that. And if we could sustain, even in the past, because of this resilience of the individual Bharatiya people, we can do that once again, but we have to be very cautious now, because there is a big game of AI now to control you, and it all depends on how you channelize your resources and how you do it. And I think in that, the Prime Minister and his team of ministers, especially the Foreign Affairs Minister and the Prime Minister as well as the Home Minister, they are doing the things in the right direction. The recent AI summit in France is a clear-cut pointer to that. There was a lot of internal permutation combinations to develop groups and subgroups, but did it actually happen according to the whims and fancies of United States of America, or for that matter, according to the whims and fancies of European Union, or for that matter, UK? No. If we have to look into the outcome of the AI summit in France, a significant pointer of that was the legitimacy given to country like Bharat, as well as Southeast Asia and other countries of East Asia.
Yes. So I was going to talk about this AI summit in France, but as a sense that has created a divide in countries. Like 56 countries, including India, they signed a pact on inclusive AI, but on the other hand, US and UK, they refrained from signing that. So why do you think there's a divide? There's of course a divide on trade, there's a divide on defense policies, but now we see a divide on AI as well. So what is the reason for this divide, and how can we overcome this divide to have an inclusive AI for all?
See, when it is a cutthroat competition and when there is a catch-22 kind of a situation, what do countries do in this international chessboard of power play? Countries, those who had been assertive in the past, or countries which had dominated geopolitics at the global level, and who are seeing that gradually the feet below the ground below their feet is gradually sinking. Unke paas aur aadhar kya hai? Iske siva, to make a hue and cry and to, create issues out of non-issues. Climate change के जितने सारे शिखर वार्ता हुआ है, वहां पे भी तो इस तरह का डिवाइड हमें देखने को मिला है. United States of America walked out of the climate change conferences, Britain had its own whims and fancies in relation to carbon reduction. So was Europe. तो इस तरह की चीजें तो होगा. Because 19th century, 20th century was something which was their era of domination. Now they are seeing that the countries which were colonies for 300 years, 400 years, countries of the African Union, countries of Southeast Asia, countries of East Asia, they are reasserting themselves and they are coming together. आज जब हम लोग ग्लोबल लेवल पे साउथ साउथ कॉपरेशन के बारे में जब बात करते हैं, when we talk about south south cooperation, this south south cooperation, if you visualize the global map, it is a huge area in which the whole of Latin America comes, South America comes, Africa comes, Bharat comes, China comes, Russia comes, then Melanesia, Polynesia comes, Micronesia comes, Southeast Asia, East Asia comes. जब इतना बड़ा conglomerate है, in which almost around 175 countries are coming together, will there not be a fear psychosis for them?
Of course,
You know, there will be a fear psychosis for them. We can only have some legitimate kind of a legitimate kind of like शाबाशी जो देते हैं ना पीठ पे कि okay, I'm with you, and at the most we can give them a handkerchief ताकि आप अपना आंसू पोंछ लो. आपकी एरा उस समय थी, आज हमारी है. ये कुदरत का नियम है. You know, when you look into the ancient philosophy of Kal Chakra, of the Hindu philosophy, in Kal Chakra also, you know, like, I mean, the clock doesn't go in one direction, or for that matter, you know, someone will not go up, and someone will always be in the down. You know, so this is based on that ancient philosophy which the West could not understand. They plundered us in the past, economically and financially with booty. We will plunder them by capturing their mind. And that should be the mission of the younger generation. You know, younger generations of institutions like IIT, NIT, IIM, and especially IIT Mandi. You know, like the younger lot out here, when they come up with a startup company or with an innovative idea, we need to nurture them. We need to nurture them. We need to help them out so that tomorrow in World Bank or in IMF or for that matter in European Union, we have a legitimate chair which was denied to us for so long. You know, so this is a permutation combination of the international geopolitical strategic equation. Things are changing and things will change. Whether it's President Trump or whether it's the Prime Minister of UK or President Macron, whether they like it, whether they don't like it, they have to accept this reality. They will try to bargain. And in that, you know, in that situation of bargaining, the ultimate winner will be the person who bargains the most. And that's the reason why the President of United States of America tells about Honorable Narendra Modi ji that he is a smart businessman and a very hard bargainer. And very difficult to bargain with him. दुनिया ट्रम्प को मानता है कि वो दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा बिजनेसमैन है और सबसे बड़ा बार्गेनर है. And if the biggest bargainer is telling about the honorable prime minister that he's a very tough nut to crack, imagine the power which Bharat has today. You know, we all have to be a part of that power, and we have to move ahead in that direction. We cannot be slave for WhatsApp or for Facebook or for, you know, like Twitter or LinkedIn. We have to assert ourselves, and we have to create in wonders similar to that. That is where the challenge is, and I believe, you know, idea matters most is something which is pursuing in that game. More and more such type of startup companies, such type of startup association needs to come up. And I think the intellectual academic sphere in the intellectual institutions and intellectual universities like IIT, NIT and the university, this is where the plethora of knowledge is. और यहाँ से जिस तरह के आप लोग नया आविष्कार कर सकते हैं, नया ढांचा तैयार कर सकते हैं, वही जाके भारत को उन्नत, आत्मनिर्भर और विकसित बनाएगा. मैं अक्सर ये कहता हूं कि, you know, if you really want to challenge the West, you have to be विकसित by mind, you have to be आत्मनिर्भर by mind, and you have to be उन्नत by mind, you know, and that has to be reflected. Like I personally myself, I do not address this country as India because that smells of colonial enslavement. It is a name given by the colonial power. We have such a beautiful name for our country, Bharat. You know, so we should address our country as Bharat, and we should project everything which is Bharatiya. I don't wear any Western attire. You know, I always wear Indian attire, and on top of that handloom attire. Because the day we have that mindset, this colonial DNA which was injected into our mind
Right.
for 300 years of colonial enslavement, that itself will get washed out. And when we do that, you know, कितने सारे AI आएंगे, कितने सारी चीजें आएंगे, भारत हमेशा ही उत्तम और उन्नत रहेगा. Just one small example I'll give. Ajanta Ellora, Konark, or for that matter, the Kailash Temple or Mount Abu, which are around 2,500 to 3,000 years old. Imagine the structure there. You know, like Kailash Temple, if you go in Maharashtra, it was cut out of a single mountain block, and that also from top to bottom. You know, top was the sphere, and then the foundation of the temple. How could the ancient architect of our country do that?
Right.
There must have been a very superior technology which was existing then,
Yes.
you know, and which was indigenous.
Right.
Because of onslaught of so many hundreds of years, that technology has died down.
Yes.
पर भारत में अगर वो चीज था, भारत में दोबारा भी ये चीज हो
Exactly.
सकता
So
है.
right now we're talking about indigenization, but I think it was already occurring in the past also. So with that, sir, I would like to end this talk. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having with you here.